Well, today we're going to talk about building trust. Now, building trust in an organization is essential. There's a lot of things that involve with building trust. Like, there's nothing more important than having trust amongst you and your directs, you and your peers, and you and your leaders. So you as a supervisor, or if you feel in that position, or just in general, you want to build trust amongst your team. There's a lot of things you can do, starting with communicate, have transparency, and be honest. Open communication is important. So when you're communicating, create that dialogue, create an environment where individuals can feel comfortable talking. If you have animosity or friction, or the setting is just not right, or you as a supervisor make them uncomfortable, they're not going to communicate with you. So create that environment that will allow them to open up and have that dialogue to express their thoughts and concerns. Also, you got to be honest. Always provide truthful information, no matter how bad it can be. Truth hurts sometimes, but it gives them transparency, and it allows them to trust you because they know, even in the most uncomfortable situations, you are going to be truthful and transparent with them. Also, you're going to demonstrate reliability and consistency. So you got to follow through. If you say you're going to do something, be a person of your word. Your word means everything. That is the only thing that you can give away. Let me rephrase that. The word is something that no one can take from you, but you can give it away. So follow through, be committed to whatever you say. Also be consistent. Be consistent with your action and decisions. Be consistent across the board. So sometimes you have to find that fine line of consistency, because you may be basing off various things when you're making a decision as far as being consistent. So sometimes you may have to explain why, when it came to this person, you made this decision, but when it came to the other person, you made a completely different decision. So you have to be able to talk to that if for some reason that you're not consistent with your responses. It could be things have changed in the organization, or you may not be allowed to do X, but you were before, which gave the other person a green light to do something. So you have to be able to explain why something is not consistent. But other than that, try to be consistent. Show respect and empathy at all times, regardless of a person's position. No matter how many levels they may be below you, maintain respect. Be respectful. Do not talk down to them. Do not look down on them. They're no different than you. You just feel in a different position. Listen, because sometimes those individuals have something to say. So you value their opinion and you listen attentively and allow that person to speak freely. Empathy. Everybody goes through something, right? So you have to understand that, they may be going something and you may not experience exactly what they're going through, but you must empathize. You must have empathy to their situation. You can't be this hard-nosed or have this I don't care attitude, because if you have this I don't care attitude, I guarantee you these people will never come to you again when they have a concern or when they feel in some type of way, because the way you shut them down. So keep that in mind. You also want to encourage team collaboration and support. So try team building activities. They go a long way. So it promotes teamwork. It creates a camaraderie. It improves the culture of your element, your section, or what have you. So it creates that trust amongst each other. And it also builds better relationships. So also you got to be that support system. So you want to encourage them to support one another, and their personal and professional challenges that may be having. If you notice someone is weak in a certain area, you might want to go ahead and assign someone who's strong in that area to that person to kind of help guide or navigate them through that process. So that will be helpful amongst your team members. Promote fairness and equality. Equal opportunity. Ensure that all team members have the same opportunities for growth and advancement. If there is a reason that you can't justify why a person should not be up for advancement, keyword, justify. You have to have legitimate reason. but you also might want to explain to them why you recommended this person and not that person, or why you recommended, Kim, but you didn't recommend Terry. So let them know why, because they're going to want to know. And sometimes I understand you can't recommend everybody in that case, but paint a picture and explain why. Communicate with your team. Transparency, as I mentioned earlier, goes a long way. So speaking of transparency, with policy changes, anything that's upcoming, keep them in the loop. Let them know what's going on. We all know policy changes all the time. 1 minute we're going to do this and we're going to implement it. Oh, wait, the next minute we're not doing that. We're going to do something else. But let them know. I know it takes them on a roller coaster, but they want to go on that roller coaster with you. Trust me, they want to know. So keep that in mind. And lastly, lead by example, right? Demonstrate integrity at all costs. Your role is you're that role model for them, right? You're that person that they look to for everything. You're that person that a lot of them want to be like, if you're doing what you're supposed to do as a leader. If not, they're not going to want to be like you. So lead by example. And when you lead by example, not just in the workspace, not for those 8 hours, 9, 10 hours, or however long you work during the day, but 24/7. 24/7. You can't be all professional in a work environment and then they see you in a bar and you drunk beyond belief, and then you tend to go to your car and try to drive off. You can't do that. You are a leader 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So keep that in mind. You are a leader 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So also accountability. Take responsibility for your actions. Be accountable. Be accountable for the decisions you make, whether they're good, bad, or indifferent. You made a bad decision, it happens. All great leaders make bad decisions. That happens. Own it. Own that decision and keep it moving. So you make a bad decision, you make a bad call, teach what you learn so people won't make the same mistake. Building trust. So building trust, again, in the workplace, it creates a slew of benefits, productivity, culture, collaborative environment, so on and so forth. It is essential for the success of an organization, but more so, it is essential for the success of your team. But it all starts with you, the leader.